I'm talking to you about joyful programming, and my 5-minute thought for today is going to be around logging. What is logging, and how can it be used to create more joyful experiences for us as programmers? So, you may recognize the story of you go into your error tracker, whether that be Sentry or Rollbar or Airbrake, whatever you want to use, and your mission is to fix this defect, and you're trying to fix this defect, and you just can't really understand what's going on with the system, and you can't really reproduce what was happening at the time that it happened. And I have burnt more hours than I would even care to remember or recall through this. Hands up if that sounds familiar. If you've spent 30 minutes, an hour, possibly even more, 2, 3, 4 hours, just scratching your head thinking, why is the system doing this? How could it have gotten to this state before? And there are a few solutions to this. And the first of them is logging. Now, logging isn't always the solution. Logging is quite a primitive way of debugging this kind of stuff. But I found with a great logging setup, you can start to really ask some intelligent questions about the system. Charity Majors of Honeycomb fame does not look favorably upon this traditional idea of logging, where you have lots of little bits and pieces of logs. We have a log statement over here and a log statement over here, and it's dribbled throughout the whole of the code. And I share her reticence to that. If you're constantly interrupting your business logic with this happened and this happened and this happened and this logged, and that's not a good look for anybody. It obscures your business logic, it makes your code difficult to read, and more than that, it increases your cost of logging, because if that part of the code is being hit 100,000 times, 1,000,000 times every hour, and you go from 0 logs to 4 logs in there, guess what? You've just logged 4 million times an hour or 400,000 times in an hour. And that soon stacks up. And you can very quickly be hit with unexpected bills from Datadog, Splunk, New Relic, whoever you are with. And of course, that's not the platform's fault. That's just poor logging practice. So what I like to do, instead of all of these individual little pieces of logging, I just have one log statement somewhere relevant, and then I tack on extra context. And occasionally I will create a new event, because logs are really just events, let's face it. So that has served me pretty well. And it means my log events, rather than being just a string, and of course, structured logs are an entirely different thing. We can talk about those another time. Instead of being just a string of text splurged into a log file, it's a structured object. It's a structured bit of JSON that gets emitted, and Datadog can pick that up and index it, and then you can search for it and query it. But the important thing is that log entry should have as many dimensions as humanly possible in there. It should have the IP address, the user agent, the user ID, obviously no privately identifiable information, but it should have every single piece of information that you can possibly think of. And as Charity Majors says, it should be high cardinality data. We can come on to what that means a little bit later on, but really the summary is IDs. IDs of things that might help you track down. So IDs of subscriptions, of invoices, of customers. And all of those IDs can help you track down what was going on at the time that event happened. So that's my 5-minute thought for today. It's a little bit rambly. If you've got any questions, please leave them below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Okay, signing off.